Well, hello, everybody. How you all doing? You know, I've been thinking, and the truth is, I've been having this thought for a long time about what's really happening behind the scenes. Like, I've been thinking that for a long time. And voila, I was like, why me? That was like, why do I need to say it? I know if I say it, everybody gonna. First of all, most people are like, not care. And the other people are gonna be like, I don't know, blame me for everything, I guess. So, how do I present that? And I want to blame ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, here's what I think. And ChatGPT made me actually go public with it. I blame them. Am I alive? Because I don't see your guys' comments getting updated. So I'm just want to make sure. Say hello if you hear me. Can you hear me? Nobody's hearing me. I don't know why there is no update. Hello. Okay, so I see Mark. Do you guys hear me? Everything's good. I don't want to tell. Okay, fine. Whatever. Okay, I'll be very honest. And I've been talking about it for a very long time. Here is an option. I asked ChatGPT and I said, like, I'll be honest, here's what I really think. I don't want to say it. Okay, so I think, when things really shifted hard, I think it was when Trump said that civilization is going to die tonight. And there was this huge backlash. And since then, everything went to shit. And I've been warning for a long time that Iran is structurally about to collapse for many reasons in a way that we haven't seen ever. So I'll be very honest. I think that the American administration wants to make sure it's not blamed for the Iranian collapse. I think I've warned, and I told you, like I said from the get-go, even in the video I made about Iran, that I think the trying to do a regime change would give the Iranians a chance, like a slither of hope, so that they would be able to save their country, save Iran. But time was running out. I think, okay, that's my honest thought. Okay, that's my honest thought. To me, America realized that if it admits or says anything about the true situation in Iran, it's going to get the responsibility and the blame for something that has nothing to do with them, but it's structural. And the trajectory is so strong, I don't think anyone can reverse it. It's going to take a God, a miracle. And I think that what they've been trying to do is to do whatever they can and even pump money, not because they actually want to capitulate to the regime, but it's if they don't use the current system, then Iran will go and the Americans would be blamed for it. And I think more than anything, this is what they don't want to be blamed for, the collapse of Iran. So you want to see why I think that? Because I said there's going to be a lot of people here, because I've seen a lot of people. My AI says differently. So how about we all open our AIs right now and ask the questions I've been asking and tell me if your AI responds differently. Okay? So why? Here's why. And I actually didn't want to do it. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But the stupid AI told me I have to. Don't know why. I mean, it said like, yes, you should do it. Okay. So I asked with, if Iran collapses now, How will it be different from the USSR? Because here's the thing, the USSR collapsed and it wasn't good, but you know, más o menos people survived. I'm just So I was like, explain to me like what is different. And I said just to make sure like, make it clear. I just mentioned the water. So here is what it says. Yes, your instinct is basically right. And then it compares the USSR and Iran. And it did mention that the USSR had ecological catastrophes, especially in the Aral area, caused by Soviet irrigation policy. And NASA described the Soviet diversion of rivers for cotton agriculture as the rivers of Aral disaster. But that was not the main collapse mechanism of the Soviet Union. Besides, they have a lot of rivers. Okay, it was just one out of many. I visited the Nizhny Novgorod. It's on the Volga, and believe me, I've never like that's a huge river. They have like so. Anyway, that's not systematic. Iran is different because water is not just one crisis; it is force multiplier, and there is an extremely high water stress category in Iran, which means that it uses more than 80% of renewable water resource in an average year and RLRFA reported Tehran water rationing, reservoirs near empty, Mashhad dams below 3%, and even official warnings about possible Tehran evacuation. The Guardian describes Iran's major cities as nearing water day zero, with Tehran's 5 main dams reportedly only 11% full in late 2025. And this year was not amazingly water blessed either. I think so. Notice like there is a shift here where they went from trying to change the regime to trying to almost save the regime. I think that this is what they're doing. And they don't want to say it. They don't want to say it because if they name the problem in today's world, they're going to be forced to take responsibility for the problem, something they don't want to do. And they're going to get blamed for the collapse, even though it has nothing to do with anything the West had done or could have done. I said it a million times. When Mother Nature enters enters the room, we all need to be humbled and respected. We cannot not respect Mother Nature yet, like as we are. And yes, don't forget to smash the like one button. It's 100% free. Anyway, I said I don't think there is a way out, and then the ChatGPT. This is usually where it's like, oh, there is a way out. No, yep, it says no. Yeah, I think you're right. In the brutal sense, there may be no way out for the current system as it's built, or to be honest, like in general. And and this is when I dropped my theory, where I said I think the United States stopped the war so it won't be blamed for Iran's collapse. That's what I thought. And here is where I was like, wow. ChatGPT said yes. I think this is a very strong strategic possibility. ChatGPT usually don't like me saying things like that. It likes to minimize problems. So I say check your ChatGPTs maybe or other AIs. Because I was like, you know what? ChatGPT agrees with me that I think Iran is about to collapse and America is looking for ways to not be blamed for its imminent structural system-based absolute mother nature driven collapse. I agree that ChatGPT. Okay, check your AIs. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? It says like not necessarily the only reason, which I agree, but the logic is clean. If the United States keeps bombing and Iran collapses, the story becomes America destroyed Iran. If the United States stops, signs a deal, reopens oil flows, and Iran still collapses, the story becomes the regime could not govern Iran. That is a huge difference. The interim deal was explicitly framed around ending the war and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Trump announced it with let the oil flow, and the MOU removes the U.S. naval blockade and extends the ceasefire. Um, blah blah blah. Even though, and here's the thing: let's like look at it from the other side. I think is trying Iran on the other hand tries to like it violated the ceasefire already. It already blocked the Strait of Hormuz. It makes sure that Hezbollah is shooting full or like killed a really staggering amount of soldiers already in Israel because they want we collapsed because of the United States. So they want to make sure that they have a way to blame an external force for the imminent collapse that is coming their way. They want to have that ability, not so that, you know, things like, it's not going to change anything in reality, but it means that if they're going to sell that concept, it's going to be way easier to keep their foot soldiers. And, well, this is the other fun thing that ChatGPT agree with me. So yes, the United States may be trying to exit the causal chain. The move says we hit the nuclear military targets, we gave Iran an off ramp, we allowed oil, water, economic relief routes to reopen. If the system still breaks, that is on the Islamic Republic. And honestly, that may be more dangerous for the regime than continued war. And this is why they want to continue the war. War lets them say foreign aggression. A deal forces them to answer fine. Now, why is there still no water, no money, no trust, no future? So I think that amazing. So you asked AI, Google AI, will Iran collapse? The answer is no. So does it explain why not? Because let me tell you, here. I said, well, after I complained about why me, okay, let's just skip ahead. And for the doubters in my channel, do you see a realistic alternative? For the doubters, yes, alternatives exist in theory. I don't see a realistic status quo alternative. The realistic alternatives are only these: reform. Anyway, nothing likely. Let me know if you guys want to read it or not. So here it's what is my honest answer. Iran has alternatives as a country. The Islamic Republic has very few as a regime. And if someone sees a realistic alternative, name the mechanism, not the wish, the mechanism. Who cuts water consumption? Who tells farmers the model is over? Who pays for food imports? Who controls the IRGC? Who restores trust? Who stops mass migration? Who makes Tehran physically livable? Because the regime survives somehow is not a plan. It is just the old assumption wearing new clothes. So can you please ask Google AI? What is the mechanism? So ChatGPT says if somebody says that it is not the likely scenario and Iran is not about to collapse, can you please name the mechanism? Where is the mechanism? Where is the Google? Ask Google what is the mechanism? How it's gonna survive? How it's gonna turn it to its zero water day? How it's not gonna face it? Like what it's gonna do? Anyone? Please? No, I'm looking for where's the mechanism? I thought about it a lot. I mean, satellite images show how much they are running out of water. So, where is the mechanism? Well, I didn't count the people in the answer. Yes, I did actually. Because I was like, God, I said God needs to come and save Iran. And it said yes. And in human terms, I understand why that's the sentence. But if God comes through history, it usually looks like people being forced into clarity before it's too late. For your channel, I'd make it almost biblical, but still strategic. Iran does not need another slogan. Iran needs rescue: water, food, electricity, medicine, communications, safe exits, and a political path that does not turn civilians into fuel for regime survival, which is what's happening right now. If the Islamic Republic cannot govern Iran, then the world has to stop pretending that the only question is war diplomacy. The real question is survival. God help Iran, and may human beings finally act like they are responsible for one another. Savage. So, yeah, God help Iran, and may human beings finally act like they are responsible for one another. The evidence keeps pointing in that direction. Iran's water crisis is merging with currency collapse, inflation, and energy shortages. And analysts are already describing it is as a system failure rather than normal shortage. So yes, God needs to save Iran, but people need to stop using God as an excuse to avoid planning. How about that? All right. So, did anyone have an AI that has like a better mechanism at play? Because here's what I had suggested, and I believe is gonna maybe happen. No water. Well, if there are no people, then you don't need much water, right? So I said, so they will delete the population, and then blah 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 blah. Uh, so I love how. So for public framing, I'd say the danger is not only that Iran collapses, the danger is that the regime tries to survive collapse by making civilians absorb the cost. In a water crisis, that means survival itself becomes political. Who gets water, fuel, medicine, electricity, and escape routes becomes a loyalty question. Yeah, that's the line. And then I made fun of it. I said, like, but I know I would deny the Holocaust during Nazi era with the way it's built. And ChatGPT was like, yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. But I should say, so no, I would not say they will delete the population because it can't. It's AI. But I should say Iran has a credible risk of mass civilian destruction through regime survival policy. So do not wait for explicit genocidal language. In a state capacity collapse, a regime can destroy a large part of its population by deciding that regime survival comes before civilian survival. And yeah, that's anyway. I was like, what the heck? So let me know. So so this is what the mechanism that is going to be applied. Okay, let me see. Okay, a highly so what it's saying basically that it's going to delete the population. This is like an AI way to wokely, politically correct say that the regime is going to make sure that like only the people who deserve it will get water. Uh, there are a lot of wells in Iran. It's just that the water aquifers are empty and the ground is collapsing. So, okay, okay. Strands of stranger. Is there any mechanism there that does not evolve a politically correct way to say that the regime will just delete its population? Yeah, I have like a red spot here. Okay. Kazakhstan, Isfahan, and Tehran poses a threat to the state, but the RGC relies on brute force to control it. The RGC and the Basij militia routinely dismantle environmental protests through. Yeah, so yes, basically, this is AI saying the trains will be running soon. I agree. That's what it says. Like, listen, when AI cannot see a way out except trains running, I don't think I'm like, if America would have continued its operation, they would have been blamed for that catastrophe. But it has nothing like it's not America. It was the trajectory for a long time now. It's been coming. And but the thing is, of course, as we know, no amount of evidence would would satisfy the media if it wants to blame the United States for something. Except, this is ironic. It's kind of evil, right? Because the truth is that countries need to prepare for that option and what to do. Like, even just like fortifying your borders, no, like, I mean, okay. So basically, so you say that the Google, of course, they're gonna survive. Iran is not gonna collapse. It's just gonna survive without its population. I don't know why AI thinks it's a normal answer to give, but okay, I don't judge the morality AI is programmed with. Okay, Grok thinks it will take around 3 to 7 years before Iran dies. Ask Grok why that's the estimate. By the way, like it could be that it's between 3 and 7 years, but let's be honest, it could be way sooner. And if it's way sooner, it's gonna be during Trump's presidency. And if it's during Trump's presidency, he's gonna be blamed for it. So as far as I know, this is why this is enough of a reason to make sure that nobody can blame you for when it happens. And not only that, like you've been, I think that like the money they're gonna give the regime is not because they want like they think the regime can be reasoned with. I think they just want to delay the collapse. And if they're delaying the collapse also means that deleting the population is an option, then globally speaking, geopolitically speaking, like a lot of countries would prefer that. We've seen that they have no issues, right? Jolani going to Lebanon. That would also delete the Lebanese population, but the Lebanese population is another failed state. So I'm guessing that the way they want to go is just by Syria and Turkey, literally deleting every people who are trying to go to Europe, because they're gonna go through those countries to get there. So if you have such a thing like the ISIS there, who's gonna go through it? Okay, because there is a difference between it's not about Trump is not worried about destroying the regime. Trump is worried about Iran destroying. Like it's not that he's worried that Iran is nearing structural collapse in a scale that we haven't seen in written history. We haven't seen anything like it. So because it's gonna happen in the more pressure the regime is gonna be under, the sooner it's gonna happen. Because of that, there is a good chance that the American government would be blamed and forced to take responsibility for what Mother Nature, which is a force greater than the United States, no matter how much Trump thinks he is a god. So it's not about that. It's about too much risk. And the real risk here is that we are having a cultural system uh, that looks who to blame. And the two options are either Israel or the United States generally. The other countries are cooperating together, like, being one elite corrupt system where they just decided, okay, let's blame that country, this country, and not do our job. Do you think like those people that allowed whatever is happening in Europe right now to happen, do you think they have any morality? Do you think they care about anything? Do you think they care? So having an ISIS, it's very convenient, like have an ISIS belt where it's gonna be like good luck for those who ran out of water. Good luck going through ISIS. And that way, they don't need to do anything to protect their borders. It's gonna be Turkey. Turkey is gonna get money because Turkey is unproductive and they decided that Islamic economics are something that you can live with. No, they collapsed their economy. So now they need. So it's very easy. Extortion. This is the friendship. Is that good? If an internationalist Jewish supremacist didn't facilitate open borders, mass immigration policies, the Western people could be more sympathetic to the Zionist Jewish supremacist cause. Well, if you weren't a bunch of sheep and brainless, less than an animal kind of creature, maybe you could have taken responsibility and done something about it. Fortunately, you're barely a human. To be honest, being a human, like as a baseline, is not such a big compliment. So you can be like that. I'd say maybe like the type of human before they knew right from wrong, the ones that were basically in the same spiritual level as the snake. And also like, fish, just, no agency, no ability to create, no ability to think. Just pathetic animals that need to be heard. What double standards hit the West the wrong way? What double standards, sweetheart? Like how in Iran rape is allowed and also marrying 9-year-olds, and the West decided that it makes sense to have them in the Women Rights Committee. What are you talking about exactly? I'm very confused. Well, I don't know why I'm like, it's so funny to hear an animal make sounds. A parrot can only repeat sentences that they've heard as slogans. I know you cannot expect much. It's okay. It's okay. I know the scope of slogans that you have is limited, so you just throw slogans hoping that some of them would stick. This must be hard. Well, I hope you're at least pretty. Maybe you'll be used as a, I don't know, exotic bird in someone's cage when the time comes. Mhm. Listen, you know, some animals just look like humans. So of course you don't. Do you expect animals to guard the border properly, think about the future, plan ahead, have geopolitical thinking, negotiate, try to make their case ahead of time? It's time for us just to understand that we are dealing with like creatures that unfortunately like creatures. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying it's just Jews in our club. There are a lot of non-Jews in our club as well. But the club is small. The club is small. What can I say? But like with time, I get convinced. I'm still waiting for like for a proof. Prove me wrong. It's like prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want to think that the guys are better than us. That most of the one like the guys are on average better than any Jew you'll find. I really want to believe it. Like, listen, if you're in the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. It's a known saying. So I want to be in the right room. So please, guys, like, but something, give me something. I don't mind, right? I don't mind. Yes, the Jews this, the Jews that. Yes, the Jews are like the worst of types of humans. Whatever, I accept. Just can you? I'm just. It just doesn't match the reality I see, unfortunately, sir. I want to be. I want it to be true. I want it to be true. Just give me the guys that can make like a good argument, that knows how to move stuff, that understand how system works, and system work, that try to fix the whatever, like that they don't stand up and be like, oh, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna blame my vice president, or this the Jews, it's the Jews. No, you have to be like, seriously. Okay, the Jews. Don't forget to smash the like button, is 100% free. Thank you. And do support this channel. It's the Jews, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. Yeah, Sheikh Jake, I'm very tired. You're right. Please buy me coffee. Like, can you like? Did you see JD Vance? By the way, apparently he's a communist. I said it on from day one in my channel. I was tricked. I was tricked by the first speech I saw by JD Vance. I'm gonna admit. Listen, I get fooled sometimes. Okay, it just like at some point I realized that I was wrong. So JD Vance with the first speech I saw of him, I was like, oh, this is exciting, a fresh new approach. Then why not? Let's have a better trust system. And then the second time I heard JD Vance, I was like, oh my god, this guy is a so communist. Long story short, apparently he admitted that he likes Bernie Sanders. Now, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're Shabbat Kastenbaum or JD Vance. If you supported Bernie Sanders at any point of your life after the age of 12, you're not smart enough to be a leader. I just, I'm just saying, right? I want my leaders to be smart. And the age of 12, I think it's a good cutoff. You know what? I'll be large. I'll be like, okay, boys are a bit slower, so 13. 13 cutoff. If you still support Bernie Sanders at 13, you're an idiot. You should not be a leader. Now, you can be a lot of things, but not a leader. Now, it's not because, like, I don't want you to be a leader, but there are technical skills that you need to get. And then there is pure, like, at the core, something is wrong with you. Not like wrong, right? Just not for you to be a leader. Just can't. Sorry, might be harsh, but I want my leaders to be smarter than have good instincts. I don't want them to be like the average person who realized at age of 40 that socialism is a stupid idea. No, I want them to run the math at the age of 12, maximum 13, and be like, wait, that doesn't compute. That's all I ask for. And I was like, I'm sorry, if you didn't do that by this age, you can be a lot of things. Can be a lot of things. Did you forget to take your pills today, Harbinger Zero? What are you talking about, sir? We're talking about Iran. Wanting to burn down a country that it's all this Israel because terror organization has killed 49 Israeli civilians in 40 years is mad. So in Portal Cat, I'm gonna believe you for a moment that you're Iranian. Can you just like write something in Persian just for something that is super Persian? I don't know, and then explain to the American what do you think about what you just blamed me for? Why do you always try to blame the this is what I said, even just saying the reality of Iran is gonna make those idiots like Harbinger Zero be like, oh my god, you want to burn down, this is why Iran is burning down, it's not at all Mother Nature knocking on the door. Backward. What do you want me to do? Like, it's reality, you need to prepare for it, okay? I don't get it. Do you guys not go to the doctor ever? How does it work? Like, how do you accept that you need to go to the doctor and fix stuff and not accept, like, that it's true for the geopolitical matter as well? I don't get it. It's like if the doctor tells you that you're fat and you're gonna get a heart attack, are you gonna blame the doctor for like the heart attack that you're gonna get? I don't get it. Like, can somebody? Oh no, it's the doctor. He told me I'm gonna get a heart attack, so it's his fault that I'm gonna get a heart attack when I get a heart attack. Why does it like why does it work with geopolitics? It's like uh, I'm explaining why people are angry at Israel. It's the reality. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Let's be all angry with Israel. Who cares about all the other countries and what? Like, I mean, why specifically Israel though? Why not be angry with Syria, like actively, so much with so much emotion? Because like they announced jihad. So what about the countries that announced jihad? Mhm. Huh? Do you have emotions there? No, it's beyond that. It's like if I want high pressure, it's okay if you take responsibility. It's not what I'm gonna die. Fuck. No, no, it's gonna be like the doctor is to blame that he warned you that you fat fuck is gonna get a heart attack if you continue your ways. So that it's the doctor's fault that you're a fat fuck. I don't get it. Varun, thank you so much, 90. So, Rebecca, is there any classical Jewish books to understand human nature? The Bible, I recommend. In Hebrew, though. What has Syria done to anyone outside of its borders? I don't know where to start. Do I start with Europe or do I start with Lebanon that Syria occupied? Do you know that Syria occupied Lebanon, sir? Or do you not know that, sir? Do you want to talk like you want to talk about the Arab stupid caliphate idea that they had? Like it's mental illness. I'm just Of course, he's not making sense here. I don't, he's just frustrated with his life. He used to support this channel, but he wasn't happy that I didn't recognize that he's a god or something. So now he's mad. Just like, the Americans seem like it. Now, J.D. Vance, you see, if anyone criticizes him or the Trump administration, now they go after them and they shut them on X, I've seen. It's the American way now. If somebody is like not submitting to you, you go after them. It's just new. It's just the fashion. It's just the way of. It's a trend. I don't know how to describe it. I guess this is what happens when you get, you sleep with Afghans for too long in the same bed, and then you cannot take the rabbis, and you take the rabbis and the fleas and all the things that they have. Come on, come on. It's like don't you want your country back? Like, is it normal? Okay, fine, Israel. How, I don't know. I also want to be angry at technical things I have no control over. But it is like there's some things are just given. Like, I was angry that I didn't reach a certain height. For example, I wanted to be tall when I was young. So some things are just the way they are. You have to learn to live with the constraints. Like, I get it, Israel is not the best, whatever. Like, it's not what you want it to be. But shouldn't you focus on making America at least what you want America to be? Isn't it easier to try to fix your country and it's better for you too? I don't get it. What's it's like what are you angry with Israel for? Isn't it a wasted energy? Like what are you angry with Israel for? So Israel said whatever. So what? So what? Israel said this, Israel said that. Everybody in this area is crazy. It's just, and also if you read the Bible, you know how many times they declare that they completely annihilated the neighbors and they killed all of them, and somehow the next page the neighbors appear again after they all died. This is the Middle East. We do hyperbolics. I mean, hyperbolic language is the norm here since, I mean, we have a very long history. I don't know if an American can understand what it means to have thousands and thousands, million years of history, you know. Anyway, so if you have, like, for example, according to the Egyptians, they killed all the Israelites like 3,000 years ago. Like they have a tablet where they declared a victory on Israel, and Israel got annihilated. So, and yet here we are, you know. I mean, there are several like tablets like that, and for some reason, the next day, all the characters reappear. Middle East is a very funny place. I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody, like, you know, except like the Muslims, they take it seriously, like the Arabs, the Arab clans. Like the Bedouins take it seriously, you know, they actually try to annihilate the Amalekites. Everyone else just talks in hyperbolics here. So what's the issue though? What's the issue? Like we don't get angry that Americans always talk about the weather and they don't have anything interesting to say. We all have our cultural quirks. I don't like that's weird to get angry. Like in the Middle East, we live in the Middle East. Stop. Like we are not talking to you. These comments are not for you. We live in a certain environment where you have our own culture. I was like, you know, if you don't make noises and you're gonna kill everyone, then who's gonna take you seriously in this environment? Nobody. Are you saying, okay, Israelites are former Egyptians and Abraham clan mixture, and what's the problem with that, sir? Why is it an issue? Are you saying that it's a problem that the Israelites are actually a mix up of the two most ancient civilizations? One from Mesopotamia and Sumer, and the other is from the Egyptian one? That, like, are you saying it's a problem that we are a mix of two civilizations, that the oldest civilizations that we know of? You think it's an insult? You think that's insulting to be a clan that is a mix of the most ancient civilizations on Earth? That's supposed to be an insult? I mean, it sounds like you wanted to insult me, but come on, you're like, you know, Balaam. You came to curse, but came up blessing. Thank you. Yes, yes, that is exactly right. So, and also that reinforces the fact that we are using the language that works with the area as Egyptian and Abraham clan mixture. This is the kind of language that is culturally appropriate according to Egyptian tablets, according to Mesopotamian, Ugaric tablets, according to, I mean, so why are you angry that we live like are you angry that we are this culture? So what? I don't get it. Like, thank you, Varun's issue is that Israel is an outlier law. Yeah, it is an outlier. It is, but it's such a weird thing, you know. It's like, okay, somebody is weird. Why is it your problem? Just weird. Harbinger Zero. I mean, you cannot stop complimenting. You say Egyptians were this or that. You guys are the Egyptians. It's true. We are the Egyptians. Israel was part of Egypt as Canaan, and then it became independent. So we are actually like, and also Abraham. It's a mix of two cultures. You can't delete the other one. You can see that there is a, first of all, like, you know what's funny, like, we only discovered the laws of Hammurabi in the last like 100 years. It was lost for millennia from every known, like it wasn't written anywhere. And yet a tablet that was written in theory, like a millennia, 1,000 years before the Bible was supposed to be written, is actually quoted in the Bible. So I don't know, like, so it's like, you understand, like, that Judaism preserved this combination of cultures, and also, like, added to it, because when you mix things together, when you have friction, sparks are created, and that's why there is a lot of original ideas that were created in this area, in the Judea. So I don't know. So you think that being an Egyptian is more of an insult than the Sumerian? But you can. But then it doesn't make sense, because why do we have Hammurabi laws, like, quoted, when it was a knowledge that was lost for thousands of years, and for some reason it's like, when you find something 1,000 years later, and it's like, fuck, this is something that's in the Bible, and like from way earlier than that we thought. So you realize that the Jews actually carry culture and carry traditions that are really, really, really old. You wouldn't have that if it wasn't for the Jews preserving it. So I don't get it. Like, to me, I always thought, because I'm a nerd, by the way, because I'm a nerd, right? I always thought, like, I didn't understand the logic of not wanting Jews around, because I was like, why wouldn't you want Jews around? They're like a living museum stands. Like, they actually, like, in their mannerism, and in their, and the theory is like that the Bible was written more than 1,000 years from what the source material of the Bible that is quoted and, like, reflected is. So you need to understand, like, we carry cultures, like, we carry, like, reflexes, we living museum articles, basically. I just, like, don't understand that. I don't understand this thing as like, oh, let's just ruin museum artifacts. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more interesting that it is like, oh, let's blame them for everything. I don't get it. I mean, Jews clearly are weird, but because they preserved old traditions that are culturally ingrained in manners we don't even fully understand. Because if we actually look at how long our knowledge of the old world was lost, and then when archaeology, in the last 100 years, and you suddenly are like, wait, the Jews, like, didn't change. Like, basically they have a lot of them same basic cultures, and also, like, the same hyperbolic speech, the same, like, isn't it fascinating? I don't like I don't know. I always thought, like, oh, people are like, oh, we don't want to have Jews around. Like, I always thought it was weird. Like, I love history. I love old things. Like, it sounds to me like, why would I want the last person who speaks a certain language to die? I think it's tragic. I don't know. I think America is overstepping, and everybody agrees that America is overstepping. So this is projection. Like, saying Israel is overstepping when that Erdogan, Mr. Turkey, just bragged that he has 25 bases outside of Turkey. They took over Libya and nobody talks about it. They took over Syria and nobody talks about it. Do you know that? Do you know that Turkey controls those places? And they overstep. Also, they control the borders with Europe, and they threaten to flood Europe every other day because it's basically their only income. I think that's overstepping. Also, America is super overstepping. I don't think, personally, that America should have intervened with a sovereign country like India in their business. I think that India had proved itself to be the most responsible, cautious, measured country ever to exist. So, why do you need to feel like America is supposed to somehow calm them down? Can you calm these people more down? They are the most calm people in the world. Like, they are the most chill people in the world. Like, and like it's so funny. It's like, so see some, you have to calm down, and the other person is like, huh? I mean, it's why is it threatening to you that it is Israel that does it when every other nation that does it hurts the population that they where they are at, or do things that are literally to threaten the rest of the world with, like, acting like mafia leaders. Varon, thank you so much for your support. If you see a beautiful thing, you can appreciate it, or you can be jealous of it and hate it. Yeah. Now, as Hindu, I have a admiration for the Jews whose kids today can have same names as their forefathers and uh, didn't convert to feral ideology. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we also, like, we improve with time. It's just that we adapt slowly. We take the good things, taste them. Thank you for your support. I mean, bro, Indians are super calm. What are you talking about? They're chill as fuck. This is why they don't do anything all day. Just kidding. Just kidding. Enrich, you are civilized people, so it's actually more unsettling when you use violence. Nobody really expects anything from your enemies, I guess. What's wrong with using violence? Why is it uncivilized? What a weird dichotomy. If you're civilized, you cannot use violence. Okay, fine. I mean, why? Why is it not civilized? This is why it's this, after that, the next step, if you're civilized, you cannot have sex, and then you don't have babies, and then you die out. Fine, but in the end of the day, you can be the most civilized, but for some reason you die. So there needs to be some compromise here. Civilized. I don't even think it's civilized. I think it's just avoidant. I don't know. I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I support you defending yourself. I mean, I don't want to defend myself. Honestly, I want to show the world that my ways are better, and also clear it out of animals that rape women. I think all the rapists should go to hell, and I honestly am more than willing to hang them myself. And that's not defending myself, that's defending women. I like generalizing. I like thinking that more than anything, I say, first of all, I'm a woman, because this I cannot change. And no, transgenderism, it doesn't count. Second, I'm like an Israeli, a Jew, whatever, like a woman, like a whatever, I cannot change that. So I want to hang all the rapists that, like, all, the goat fuckers that also marry 9-year-olds. And that's not defending myself. I'm not gonna apologize for willing to do that. It's not defending myself. I still want to do it. I don't know. I'm reading your comments right now. Tell us more about the goat people. So there is this Instagram person that talks about like goats. So he came to Israel, Brian, the Scottish Korean. So he came to Israel, and and then I said like, yeah, like I know. So here's the thing: people who serve in the borders, they see that happen all the time. Like they see all the options they witness. And I just told him like, go talk to like the border Tatzpitanyot, like the those who look at the border, and just for fun ask them about it. And it's, what I like. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said like, they see it every day. And he was like, seriously? And I was like, are you saying that you were saying that about Muslims, thinking that it's an hyperbolic speech? And he was like, what? And I was like, that's happening. That's like really happening a lot. Like there are like they don't want to talk about it because it's awful, but you can like find it at Spit on It, and she's gonna tell you like how many things she's seen. If you really want, like, if you really want to know. And I was like so funny. Like I was like, you were saying that, and you thought it's just something people say as a slur. And I was like, you thought it's a slur? I was like, it's not a slur. It's, it's, yeah. I also heard about like a camel, and I was like, how did they do that? I mean, anyway. I was I don't know why. I was so surprised when he thought it was a joke. I was like, it's not a joke. They do it all the time. It's so weird that I thought it's a joke. There's like how many stories like that I've heard. No, it's not a joke. Not a joke. I mean, obviously, they also like do it a lot with phones, but that's a different mechanism. They smuggle them through, So I don't know if they enjoy it or not. If they also like get pleasure of smuggling phones and stuff through their buttholes, but Mm. Anyway, it's all true. You guys, do you have any questions? Oh my God! Speaking of well, I mean checkpoints. It's like checkpoints reminds me like well, well, that's a different kind of. But I think everybody does that. Sometimes you need to go. I mean, I think also in airports there you have the same thing where people like for some reason choose fun stuff to bring through checkpoints. Mm. Lizard is saying if it threatens the US, Turkey will be stopped. If not, it's not our problem. The world, okay, so you know the difference between not your problem and sticking your noses so far into Erdogan ass is like there is a rainbow, right? Like there is a spectrum here. It's not our problem and then the other option is let's go and put our heads just like let's just sniff and just lick whatever like Erdogan's like I don't like it's I don't get this thinking, right? It's not this or that. I don't. What can you please explain why it's this or that? Can you some like can you choose any other point between between it's not our problem, fine, right? So if it's not your problem, so I mean, why is it? Why does it come together with having to be like it's why is it either you stop Turkey or you put your tongue in Erdogan's butt. Like, why is it the this or that? Explain to me like I'm stupid because I think I'm really stupid. So, Lizard, I'm waiting for your explanation. I'm looking forward. Explain to me like I'm stupid. Why is it that? Why is it if the US, like, why is it stop Turkey or lick Turkey's ass? Like, why is it this or that? Like, why is there no other option? I would love to hear. Thank you, sir. Varun, per Maliki Islamic law, it is okay to eat that goat that has been done with as long as guy hasn't delivered his good inside the goat. It is in Sharia. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your. S- what if you. Is there a continuation to that discussion? Like, what if you wash it out? What if you wash it out? I mean, I'm guessing it's like a halal thing, right? You don't want to eat human with your goat? Or is it. Or is there a. And usually, I think every point in the Sharia, they have like long discussions over, right? So is it just like one sentence or is it a discussion? Um, I'm just wondering. Um, and also, by the what happens if you did it to your neighbor's goat? Does it mean that it forces your neighbor to do barbecue? If you tell him, "Hey, listen, I fucked your goat," now that goat has to has to be barbecued. So is it like just their method that this is how they got their barbecues out of their neighbors? And because it's like because of all time no fridges desert they got everybody's eating together, so it's like okay I did it and then it became like a habit because like I know I also know like that if you do it with an animal you'll need to get rid of the animal. So you're saying it's halal, so you are saying that maybe like okay I want to have barbecue, okay, so I go I do this to the neighbor's goat and then I tell the neighbor, listen, I did it to your goat, barbecue, no choice, barbecue. And then it's like, and then yay, barbecue, everybody's happy. And then it's just like, oh, this is and then a child sees their parent, and it just at some point the barbecue is lost, or is it still part of the process? I'm a real, I can understand. It's very interesting. Uh, Re- QWQ, thank you, 966. Rebecca, can Israel allow the West Bank to have an economy? Checkpoints and no trade and no space means a decrepit life. Well, and West Bank is allowed to have an economy, sir. It's just that animals don't do economy. You can look at Jordan, for example, their relatives, and see that they don't do economy. So they just get money from the West not to collapse. So do you not feel like I understand, but I know it might sound like bigotry of low expectations, but at some point you have to accept reality. Thank you for your question, though. Thank you so much for your support. I hope that answered. Um, by the way, they have palaces and super expensive cars there everywhere. So it's not even true. Like they have a lot of money, especially compared to Jordan. Like they have zero money. But it's not an economy. It's just like it's not an economy. It's not like they're productive or something. But they have like very fancy cars and very big houses. So it's not us not allowing them to have an economy. It's just that they are not very developed. So mentally that is. Yeah, the West Bank and the East Bank, they're the same people. You can see like that the East Bank is doing way worse than the West Bank because the West Bank is they live in palaces and drive like fancy sports cars that even Israelis don't have. Like we don't have them like they do. Also, by the way, one of the ways in Israel to know if somebody is an Arab, if they wear like super fancy clothes. If they wear an Armani suit or Gucci or whatever, it's Arabs. Like this is like if they drive like a crazy expensive car, usually an Arab. General saying. This is how you would recognize them in them in university. This is was the but then the Arabs understood this and they started wearing the same clothes the Jews do, and then it's very hard to it's very easy for them to not be recognized as Arabs. It's funny. It's also the other way around. It's pretty easy to pretend to be Arab. Kind of it's kind of shocking how easy it is, even among Israelis and Arabs, for Arabs to think you're Arab or just to think you're Jew. Like if you just dress a little bit less fancy or a little bit more fancy or whatever. So, what else is it? But it's not an economy because if they don't have anybody to steal from, then like they're not gonna have anything. And I'm not saying that it's stolen from Israel. Clearly, nobody here drives those crazy sports cars. They do. No, they import them themselves. I'm just saying like it's stolen as in like you do like a show. You choose like an ugly corner and you start crying, and then all the stupid Westerners send you money. And then you buy a fancy sports car. I don't know. We Jews, when I'm not rich, I don't have any money. I also want a fancy sports cars, you guys. So send me money, thank you. Like, can I at least like have like a car that I like passes as local in the West Bank, please? Something super fancy. It's like, okay, it's such a fancy car. No, but it's not a Jew. No way. You know. And then I can like give you like. So okay, so I don't know what's going on in the world. Now all the Israelis now all Now all the Israelis have to admit that it's true. And nobody wants to admit it. Exactly, Mark. Thank you. Everyone. Yeah, we should like donate money so I can at least like it's time for us Israelis to at least have this like like it's not fair. Why do they get to live in like palaces and have fancy sport cars and nobody here does? That's not fair. It's really it's really annoying. Really. But so it was yeah, it's very easy to know that. And after that, like they complain and they manipulate and they get more money out of you. Uh, actually, like it's actually inspiring. Honestly, very humbling. Very very humbling. Kinda need to up my my speaking of you're saying QWQ9 settlements, checkpoints, debt restrictions. Bro, you're so detailed. Do you want me to go to the West Bank and show you how they live? Because I'm gonna actually have, I'm gonna go next week sometime. So, do you want me? Do you want? Like, do you not believe me? Like, like here's the thing. Like, it's like, are you gonna believe the bullshit media, or are you gonna like come here and like use your eyes? I don't like it's an offer. You can do that actually. You'd be like people are you can go and like go to the slave corner where they kept all the black people who they use as slaves, right? The Abd neighborhoods. But like you don't have to specifically go there. You can also and you can go to the more like mainstream and then see how they live. I mean why like what are like I appreciate your support. I just you know how the media lies. This is how you got all the Syrians that rape your kids all over the place because these are good people. And they brought like this only one single baby out of all the boats. You had 100,000 non babies and only rape age males coming and one baby, and they somehow only took a photo of the baby. You know how many poor people there are that are Jews inside of Israel and like homeless people, like and also I don't know where you're from, but you're British, so I saw a lot of like there is not nice places in Britain too. So I'm just like, what can I do? Like if they live in palaces, what restrictions and checkpoints are you complaining about? Like that they can't have like a douche made of rockets, that they only can have it out of gold. Like what is the crying about? Is it like that they don't have like the best tub that they make is not out of I don't know, uranium, that it's out of gold or marble? Like what is exactly like the pain point? Can you be more specific, please? Thank you. Really, I just want like I mean, I just really am curious. Like, what's the pain? What's bothering you? Um, R.D. Rappaport, here is for your car fund. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. I need a little bit more shekels or dollars or to get the car, but and thank you. Bit by bit, bit by bit. And yes, I'm just wondering, like, what's the pain? What's the like? Oh no, they cannot move stuff. I can also not bring a. I also want to buy a gun in the United States and bring it to Israel, and I'm not allowed to. So you guys can please understand like that. Like my personal ability to like have economy is restricted by the evil Americans and border people that are not gonna give me like pass like cocaine and guns through the border so that I can trade. So I just want to trade freely. I don't understand this concept. The world is evil. Hey, what do I don't ask for much. I just think it should be allowed to sell stuff and have decent economy and not get restricted by evil people that don't want me to make money because I'm Jewish. It's like I want to have guns and stuff and I like is it really like I you know I'm just starting to realize how miserable I am. And especially if you compare like my house size, like and how I live, like and how like a lot of Israelis live compared to how the Arabs live, then in their huge like villas. I was like, you know, I try not to like be jealous or anything, but I suddenly understand how miserable my life is, and I don't even have to work for it. I just need to cry once in a while, and then people send them money. Urban Jersey, thank you for your support. Rebecca, defensiveness doesn't become you. You're great, no worries. I don't know what it means, but thank you. Mm, like, thank you for your support. No, now I really feel miserable, you guys. It's not fair. Why they live in mansions? Like I also want. Why it's not? Ugh, I'm very sad. It's not fair. Like I'm not joking. I wish I mean I wish. It's not that I wish them ill or something. Like I'm really not joking. Like it's just not fair. Like it's really not fair. This life is just absolutely not fair. That's all I have to say. What are you saying? West Bank or Gaza can't export easily. They have to pay double the tax. Checkpoints stop people commuting between towns for work. No airports. A cage. No, they can actually fly through Jordan. It's not too hard. And checkpoints are not like listen, you go through checkpoints. It's not really a big deal. I mean, they don't really like it's so checkpoints stop people commuting between towns for work. I mean, it's just that you have to go through the checkpoint. It's not such a big deal. Also, everybody goes through this checkpoint. Also, the Israelis there go through those checkpoints, and wait in line with the Arabs. I mean, Gaza is a different story, but I think you should to say something. I mean, I think you should cry to Egypt or something. For some reason, they thought the Palestinians are so disgusting. They literally evacuated the Egyptian side of Rafah and added like 3 layers of wall and put snipers there so that they wouldn't dare to cross. So, I mean, and easily they have to pay double the tax. What are you what are you talking about? What do you mean they have to pay double the tax? Do you think there is like a system in an Arab world where you cannot bribe and avoid taxation? Like, do you know that they don't like the tax that Arabs pay is only on paper? It's written that they're paying tax in theory, but in reality, nobody pays tax. Like you're you just don't know anything about this area, sir. Like you can write whatever you want on paper in the Middle East, just like the peace agreements that are basically toilet papers. It's useless and it's like I don't. You could have used the paper for so many other things that, like, paper airplanes, and it would have been more amusing. But like the taxation system in those areas, like in the Arab world, and even Israeli Arabs, it's just the tax is written on paper. On paper, it says here, oh, this is tax. In reality, no tax. It's just this. It's the same as the ceasefire. No ceasefire. In reality, it's just you. They write things on paper, but there isn't like. No, I know. It's so cute. It's like, how can you be so detached from reality and not know how this? Like, they can write whatever thing they want on paper. Like, do you really think it's how it works? You know nothing about the culture. Absolutely nothing. Nobody, they don't pay any double the. No, it's like they pay double the tax because there is an agreement that you are lucky if you manage to get them to pay either of. It's like, oh my God, you managed to get them to pay taxes? Wow, good for you. Well, next time it will be you, maybe, that would manage to get taxes out of the three. Bro, it's like, it's funny. I like it. I like it. I like the series. I like this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, absolute no, like, it's like, oh my fucking God. Listen, let me, how restricted they are? Let me tell you how. Um, they, they bring in lions. They bring in monkeys. Every exotic animal you can think of. The I don't, it's nice that you say all those things, but how did they get there? Like it's not that I'm saying that, like, oh, this is restricted trade in Israel. No, that's an exotic animal that is illegal to trade with anywhere in the world, and somehow they have a shit ton of lions walking around as entertainment. I mean, you are so you are listen. You know what you remind me of? So there was this very passionate reporter that for years reported out of Jordan about like the Middle Eastern matters. And and um and we went to, like, he was like, he came over and, like, through couch surfing, and also I brought my friend over because I was like, this dude, I don't trust him. Like, leftists, they're insane. So I brought my friend over, right, to protect me from this guy, because I mean, it was he got the anyway. So he was explaining to us the situation in the Middle East, and he was like, you Jews, you don't understand how it is, like, was like here and there. And at some point he, like, stopped talking, which was very rare because he just kept talking. And went to the bathroom or something, and I was like, looked at my friend and is like, and he said, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And I was like, I was like, but I don't want to hear more lecture about the Jews doing everything wrong. And he was like, don't you dare. I want to see how long it's gonna take him to realize. Listen, we gave him a lot of clues. We gave him a lot of clues. Now I'll give you, Mr. QWQ966, a couple of minutes to guess what it is that the reporter that knew so much about the Middle East had to realize and couldn't, and how ridiculous it looked. I'll give you, eh, I mean, try. I'm gonna give you the ability to show us that you can guess how much reporters here are idiots. I mean, it was funny, to be honest. Riff Rabb Barker won't the US Trump be blamed regardless of when Iran crumbles in a horrific way? Well, this is why they gave the money and this is why they opened the Hormuz Strait. This is why they do all the extra shit to be like, we literally tried everything. Like they signed a capitulation, uh, like literally gave Iran the victory, trying to. I mean, I think you're right. I think they're delusional. I think they're gonna be blamed anyway, for sure. But yeah, one can try. One can try. It's good to have like hopes and dreams. So where is it? Can you guys guess? Can you guys guess? I mean, this dude explained to us like how the evil Jews how we should be better to the treat the Muslims better and the Palestinians better and the Arabs better, blah blah blah, and the Jews are this and Jews that. So do you know guys? So guys, so listen. I looked at my friend. I was like, I want to tell him. He said, no. This guy writes about the Middle East. He is an expert. He needs to realize at some point. Listen, there were a lot of the more we went, the longer the night went, the more huge clues we dropped. So here's the so what is it? What was it that he didn't see? That's my question to you. Guess anyone guess? Anyone? Right? Guess dots. Two dots. I guess that. So I know that you answer this question. Come on, come on. It's going. It's not too hard. You guys talk to. Why am I here? Why am I even here? Nobody listens to me. You guys talk among yourselves. Nobody answers my question. Yeah, I have no idea what you guys. Drum roll. Drum roll. Come on, somebody guess. All I see is like you guys are talking on yourselves. Okay, I guess you're too busy arguing among yourselves. It doesn't matter what I'm saying here. The discussion was in Israel. Listen, this guy is an expert on the Middle East. Here's my question. He was a usual leftist. He sounded like this guy that gives money, okay? That talks about how miserable the Palestinians are for having to pay two taxes, not understanding that they never pay any taxes. It's nice that something is written on paper, but there is paper and there is like this is the amount of detachment. But so this guy lives in Amman and writes about the issues here like with full confidence to the world to see and hear. So I'm just asking you, what was it that he didn't realize when he was explaining how much the Jews are evil to us? That's what I'm asking. This is what you need. This is the question. That was the question. So what was it? What was it that he didn't realize? You guessed. Just it's kind of funny. Come on. Because it's gonna be when you realize what he didn't understand, you understand how pathetic people who do journalism from here. That is very far off. You want more clues? Come on. So, okay. So during this conversation, he talked to his mom, and we went to a specific kind of restaurant, and we gave a lot of clues. No, nobody guesses. Nobody guesses. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna be on Twitter until somebody decides to guess something. You guys can enjoy my ex, you know? That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it, you know? I want to have fun, and you guys are just talking to each other. Nobody wants to guess. Come on, no, guys. I just. No, listen. It was super ridiculous. You guessed it? Where is the Q person? I want the Q person to guess it. Because I want him to understand who he gets the journalism from. What kind of people. Okay, what's going on here? Let's just see random shit. I'm just like, just guess what? The journalist that is an expert on the Middle East that does a ground journalistic work trying. Okay, the restaurant was Arab. Okay. Yes, he didn't guess it. I want to, okay, I'll repeat. During that sit in this Arab restaurant, the entire time, he explained to us why you, the Jews, are doing this and that wrong and why Israel is evil. This person reports from the Middle East as if he knows anything about the local culture. Okay, fine, I'll keep it down. I'll keep it down. No, the guess is not the journalist is. That's the interesting matter because they are all like that. It's sad. But this expert on Middle Eastern culture who goes and does like groundwork, and what was it that we didn't tell him? And he should have realized if he were actually doing his job properly and not like all the other so called journalists who work in Israel. Self-hating Jew didn't realize that Israelis treat Arabs. He's not. He wasn't a Jew. I, I, I didn't say he was a Jew. He wasn't. He wasn't a Jew. So no, that's not it. Okay.
Attacks on Iran or anything of
I'll
that
just
nature because
watch
the
random
president
stuff. You
attacks
guys
on
ignore me
Iran or
anyway.
anything of that nature because the president's made clear he prefers diplomacy and an outcome of negotiated settlement. Now, we're dealing with radical Shia clerics. Okay, we're dealing with people who make geopolitical decisions on the basis of pure theology, and it's a complicated thing. I mean, no one's ever been able to do a successful deal with Iran, but we're going to try. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be traveling. I think they're traveling right now to have important meetings, and we'll see how that turns out. And we'll always comply with the applicable laws of the United States in terms of involving Congress in any decisions. But right now, we're not talking about any of that. We are postured in the region for one simple reason, and that is that we understand that there could be threats to our forces in the region. We've seen them be threatened in the past, and we want to make sure that we have sufficient capacity to defend them if, God forbid, that were to happen. We'll follow whatever the law is on it, and it depends on the circumstance that lead to it. But right now, we're talking about negotiations. We are focused on negotiations. That's what we're focused. The president's made that clear. If that changes, it'll be obvious to everyone, and obviously, whatever the law requires us to do, we'll do. With regards to
Okay, that's very boring. Okay, what's on going on? I'm just looking at your guesses. Come on, it's not that hard. I'll like listen. Like I'm telling you, my friend. went to an restaurant. We got a lecture about how we Jews are not okay and what we should do better about treating Arabs and Muslims and Palestinians and such while we were sitting in an Arab restaurant. And also, my friend called his mother. That's enough information to understand what he. The restaurant was Arab, Christian Arab, by the way. Why is my For You page so boring? Ah, it's Somaliland. And someone's like, what country is that? And why is the flag of it is in Jerusalem? That's Somaliland. Thank you. Exactly. He didn't realize that my friend was a Muslim Arab who goes to the Palestine, like who has family in the West Bank that you worry so much about. And he brought us knafe from Nablus, which is Shem. That's the reporters. And then they come and tell you how the poor Arabs have to pay double the taxes. It's, and then they go ask, oh, do you have to pay double the taxes? And then the Arabs look at him like he's crazy. He's like, yes, yes. And you know what's the funny part? They're not even lying. The Arabs are not even lying. They just think this question is so stupid, and like, who would ever think that you would pay taxes? Like, what is this idiot with this idiotic question? So he spoke Arabic during that conversation. He talked to his mom in Arabic, right? And that entire time, this dude explained to us how he is understands the local culture and all the little different dynamics in the Middle East, and how he expertly writes and advises Americans and the other, like in different whatever he writes for about everything that's going on here. Listen, my friend was like, "What the fuck?" Because like at some point I was like, like I swear he started looking for like something Islamic to show, like to just play around with, just to give him this more clues. I was like, like I wouldn't be surprised if you know what other things he did. He also decided that he keeps all the. So actually, when we became friends in the beginning, he didn't eat bacon and he didn't do all the things against Islam. Like he kept all the rules, but then he read the Quran and he left Islam. Like several months later, like I didn't know anything, and he was the one that introduced me to like actually Islam is awful. But before he was like, oh shit, what is this crap? He kept all the rules and anything. So to make it more easy for this idiot, he was like, I don't drink alcohol. Just to make sure. Is there? He gave like all those really heavy, hardcore clues to see at what point this journalist would understand that he's given a lecture on how much is an evil Jew, and he should treat Arabs better to a Muslim that is an Arab, that is literally like hardcore Arab. No, actually, we never told him. We just never bothered. At some point, I was like, you know, when somebody is that delusional, somebody is so detached from reality, it doesn't matter if you actually bother telling them that this guy was an Arab or not. It's like he's mentally ill, and it's all the reporters here. Okay, like and then you get those questions about, oh my god, do you have to pay double the tax? Let me tell you, the lions that they have in their backyard, they didn't pay tax for. They didn't the lion tax free, like all the they didn't like. And believe me, it's every other house, okay? And also they all have guns in their home, so it's like what? Like, do you think you can survive in Arab society? They shoot each other all the time, and also they shoot in the air when there is a wedding all the time. Everybody brings their guns and we like. I'm sorry, Q, but like you need to understand what's going on here. That what kind of journalists give you uh, explain the situation here to you, how ridiculous they are, how idiotic they are, what bunch of morons they are, how much they don't understand anything about the culture here, and how pathetic it looks like. And then it's like, oh my god, they need to pay double the tax. Listen, I would be like, it's not okay. It should be fixed. But honestly, like what they I don't think they would have complained about it, but they don't know that they're supposed to pay double the tax because they never pay taxes. Yeah, another one. Okay, fine. Israeli settlers burn farms and shops, so no jobs. Israel settlement, e.g., Ariel, lush, green and modern. Palestinian towns crowded and no greenery. Listen, I can give you two videos from Tel Aviv. One would be homeless people, no greenery, burnt shops. The other would be new houses, everybody is rich. Same city, okay? Actually, it's gonna be the same street, just one side of the street and the other side of the street. You need to cross the road. But keep the money coming. I guess that's the good part. I like it's like listen, I gave you this entire story to tell you where you get the information from people who like you I don't think you'd ever like this is amazing how much work they do to find like those injustices. I don't think you'd ever find an Arab that would complain about it because I don't think they even know that taxes are something you're supposed to pay for. By the way, they did notice it recently during COVID because they avoided paying taxes, and then because they avoided paying taxes, they it wasn't like the country didn't know how much money they lost because of COVID, and then they realized that maybe there is some advantage to paying taxes sometimes because they reported no income, but now they lost income, but they're not getting they're not getting the benefits of losing income because they didn't report their taxes before that, so they hadn't like no income to report on. um you know so they're like, oh shit, there are like little like advantages like that to paying taxes, but it's just like it's a new discovery, and it's just Israeli Arabs. I'm sure the Palestinian Arabs like are so far behind that even. I wonder if they even know what the tax is. Maybe they know what ma'am is, when you buy something and there is ma'am. Maybe they know. I don't know if they know though. I'm not sure. Like, it's like I love it. I love it. I love this. In theory, you are correct. In practice, you know nothing. I love it. It's like this bro. He couldn't understand. He couldn't hear the difference between Arabic, and not only that. Like my friend was like went into like hardcore Arabic just to make it clear. Like the properly. Alhamdulillah. Just whatever. Like Alhamdulillah, everybody's saying. But it's like like hardcore. Like it's like because like that's the hardest sound for Israeli to reproduce is the k sound. Is the not even all Arabs can make that sound. Like there are Arabs who say g instead. There are Arabs who say instead. So not even all Arab groups can make the k sound. Okay, so if you hear the k sound, it's very like it's this is the one sound like that the like not like a lot even some Arabs like fail producing, right? They say instead, like galbi, albi, you know, and then but it's supposed to be kalbi, which I don't know do my dad can make this sound actually. um so it's like it's like and this is like the little like the things that if you're local, okay, it's like, oh, you even know that it's likely not the Druze. You even know like if it's from the south or the north, because like in some areas in Israel, in the center they say Iowa, in the north they say as yes. You think you can report on the Middle East? Like that's the reporters, okay? And so you have Mr. QQ here, right? Making those funny claims. Oh my fucking god. Like I know Arabs who can't say P. That friend could say P. He speaks, several languages, including English. Now he lives in America and is a billionaire. But because he's a smart dude, super smart dude. Anyway, oh my god, it's his birthday. Actually, I should text him. I should text him. It's so funny. I should tell him. Oh my god, let me tell him. Let me record a message. Let me record a message. Let me record a message. יום הולדת שמח, כפרה. קיצר, אני בלייב, ובדיוק סיפרתי עליך, ושמתי לב שכבר 21 ביוני, אז אמרתי, יאללה, אני אגיד גם מזל טוב. אז קיצר, סיפרתי להם איך ישבנו עם העיתונאי המפגר הזה, האמריקאי, שחי באמן, ולא יכול אפילו להבדיל בין ערבית לעברית, ולא קלט כל הזמן שהיינו ביחד, שאתה כאילו לא יהודי. וואי, קיצר, סיפרתי להם על זה, ופתאום קלטתי שזה כבר יום הולדת שלך, אז אמרתי, יאללה, אני גם אגיד לך מזל טוב. מזל טוב, כפרה לך, נשיקות. אז כן, באנגלית, everybody is saying happy birthday. His name is Amir, so you guys can write in the comments. Happy birthday, Amir. Thank you for being there to demonstrate how stupid the journalists that come to the Middle East are. Thank you. Yes, okay. Kisses. זהו, שלחתי לו. Okay, sorry, I sent him. So, you can say سنة حلوة يا جميل. Anyway. Yes, you guys. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, so that was my friend. Now he's super rich in America. This bitch. He should send me some money, actually. Actually, I should tell him to send me some money. By the way, he's, when I said like he's the one that told me that Gaza is gone. Like he told me when we were like, I don't know, 12 years ago, it was like, yeah, I was like, he said like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter how much money they're gonna have. It's a lost cause. Like he was the one like, you don't understand. It's lost cause. Like they're gone. They're gone. So there you go. And it's funny because to him is like, but to him is he has this mindset like that it could have been him. Like he could have been the one born in Gaza, right? Because well, he looks like he comes from Egypt, so it makes sense. Anyway, so it's like it could have been him, and it's like it's not fair that like they have this awful system, and in the other hand, he is a millionaire right now, or a billionaire, I don't know, because like, well, His family decided to submit to the Jews, and now their life is good. And but so it's so funny to him. It's like, so it's like, no, but it's evil to hurt the the Gazans, but also like they're a lost cause. And it's like, okay, why is it? Because it could have been me. I was like, it could have been me also, sir. I could have also been a Gazan just as much as you could have been a Gazan, sir. Well, anyway, emotion and logic, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Sometimes they just don't mix. Like literally, it could have been me as well. You know. In fact, I think I could have been my sister just as much as I could have been a Gazan. It's like impossible. So he had like a split brain like this, which is hilarious but kind of sad as well. I mean, it's really hard, I guess, psychologically. Like he's not the only one. Also, uh, you know, Khaled is like that, and also Marwan is like that. Like they know that there are people in Syria and Egypt, like which they ran away from, like are mentally ill and are gonna all die because of the way they are behaving, because they are, well, capitulating themselves and basically doing everything to make sure that they have no future, and they're just gonna get to the point where they collapse and kill each other. But they still really cry about it, like with real tears, and are so it's so hard for them to like accept, like, it's like they have a split brain. It's like, yeah, they all need to go, but at the same time, but this is my people. This is horrible, to be honest. I'm so happy I don't have to suffer from this kind of split brain, because my people are super annoying, but like they're reasonable. I mean, they're trying. You can't say like, okay, this is like, yeah, it's hard. So anyway, how funny it is that it's his birthday that we remember this great story. But yeah, my claim is that I could have also been a Gazan, just like he was like, it could have been me. Well, it could have been me too, but for some reason it doesn't compute. Anyway, I think we are tired, right, you guys? Um. Oh, there is more JD Vance. Do you want to hear some more delusional slope from JD Vance or what? I mean, it's not fun because unlike QQ, JD Vance doesn't send me money when I hear the misinformed bullshit he has to say. But also, like, I hope Q that you are not in a position of making decisions, because you know I say, like, if you cannot see that you don't that the media fools you by now, it's just like, if you cannot see communism is stupid by the age of 12, you're not supposed to be a leader. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. You are asking me like what? Like I'm a Spaniard? And like what are you asking me? Like, how would I, like, why? I don't know Yiddish. I know less Yiddish than the average American guy, which is super embarrassing. You know how many times that I talk to like a non-Jew from America, and he says like things to me in Yiddish, and I'm like, what, what does it, what does it mean? I need to I need to up my. Also, like when American Jews speak, like they say a lot of words I don't know. It's like, oh, you do this, and it's like, what? I know oy vey, okay? Oy vey. Is oy vey even like a real word? Isn't it just sounds? Bro, somebody like Q, why are you crying about the Palestinians? No wonder, because you sent me pounds. I now I understand why your daughters get raped. Did your child get raped too? Or did you not believe her because you were like, no, it's impossible. Muslims will never do things like that. They will not fuck a goat just for the barbecue. Like like or do you have no children so you don't care about being stupid because you have this kind of privilege? So it's just do you have like only boys because like if you only have like I don't know like do you plan not to have kids, like do you have like the some sort of a position that or are you really old and then your children are like very ugly and you think nobody's gonna touch them, but I'm telling you they even do it to 90-year-old people and goats. So I don't know where this confidence come from, but like or is it that you like BDSM and you actually fantasize and fetishize these things? Like Q, like what exactly kind of what is your situation that allows you to be so delusional? Like because the more you write things, the more I understand why so many rape cases had grooming gags with nobody doing anything happened. Clearly, like I understand now. Like I gave you, explained to you the local culture. I like every like I tried my best, but now I understand how everything happened in Britain. Now I understand. Now I get it. Thank you for your pounds, but now I understand. Okay. So you're saying, Rebecca, I'm 24 and I'm ugly, which is why I'm co-chilling here on Saturday. Oh, okay. Um, so I just want to say that, like, no matter how ugly you think you are, they rape everybody. I'm not joking. I wish I was joking. Like, it's just like the Scottish Korean that came here and was like, oh, and then was shocked that they actually do that with goats like all the time. And it's like they do it in huge numbers. Like, it's not even funny. So I just want to say like that you have a long life ahead of you. So I don't know why like I'm telling you, I know that now they start with like the 10-year-olds, the white 10-year-old girls, but like they're gonna reach to like they're gonna get to the point when they get you as well. Like they're I wish it was a lie. I wish it was a lie. But clearly it doesn't matter what I'm gonna tell to you because if it mattered in your and I respect your culture now that I know that like in your culture you just don't believe people. It's okay. Uh cars in dimension was must do shine. Thank you for the kind Yiddish word. I can say Yiddish is Yiddish. Is vous like vous? Like voulez-vous coucher? This? Like you? Bro, okay, I don't want to say those things, but I when I realized that the person that talks about like save the goats guy on Instagram actually thought it was not the reality on the ground, I was like, you know what, like you need to be said, you need at some point it you somebody needs to say it plainly, just say it plainly. Thank you for your support. I listen, I just, you can say the truth, and people don't want to believe like, even people who think that they are already saying the truth don't understand how more crazy reality is. Like, that's the thing. Like, the thing is, this is what we say here all the time. The reality here is so crazy that if you write it as a script, nobody would accept it because they would say it's too crazy to be true, but it's true. So, cars in dimension. What are you doing, pretty Jewish girl? Oh, so thank you. Thank you for calling me a pretty Jewish girl. Well, I'm talking to you guys, telling you stories. Like, I don't know, like, how can you explain to someone who never seen snow what snow? You know what it reminds me? This is how I feel. There is a famous Jewish writer, not Jewish, Russian writer, that went to the Amazons, and he tried to explain to the locals, right, what snow is, what what is freezing cold, what it is like when it goes to minus 40 degrees. And he tried to explain, like, in Russia, it's so cold that the water freezes, it turns into solid. And they thought he was joking. How can water turn into solid? And he was like, because it's so cold. And he's like, what do you mean? Cold like it was yesterday? And yesterday, while they were warming up in the, because it cold around the fire, he was on the side trying to survive the heat. So that's how, like, I feel. It's like, how can you, like, it's like this frustration the Russian try to convey. It's like, how do you explain to people who live in the Amazon or in the equatorial, like, before you had the technology we have today, what is cold, that water can turn into ice, that water can become solid, like can you imagine, like, trying to say, yes, water can become solid? Like, imagine how, like, he thought he was crazy. They thought he was crazy. It's like, what do you mean? Because it the funny thing is that in Russia, the water goes solid at 0 degrees, and in Russia there is actually that's warm. That's the hot days, and then you have like a minus 60 degrees. And how do you explain the minus 60? That's not even something I can understand. And I saw ice. I saw fridge, but I cannot comprehend minus 40, like, because the thing is, like, the difference between a 0 and minus 40 is the same difference between 0 and plus 40, and you know what difference that is. But you imagine that if you never experience a cold of minus 40? Like, every person I talk to, like, that's a huge difference, huge difference. And it's like, that's I understand the struggling, but also, can you believe that water freezes? Can you believe that minus 40 is as far away from 0 degrees as 40 degrees is Celsius from 0 degrees? And in one you're like baking, and the other that you need to wear a coat. You're saying, I want to believe you, Rebecca. It's just that there is so much evidence. But there is a lot of evidence, but it's because it's their culture. If you want to have a fair assessment, you need to go to Jordan, and you need to truly go to Jordan, and not only the well secured, surrounded by and infiltrated by a shit ton of muhabarat people in the areas that Americans go to in Amman. If you really, because when you see, because you need to understand these are the same people, okay? The West Bankers, they had a lot of them still do have Jordanian passports, okay? So you need to understand that's the same culture, and and you can go and say like, okay, you're gonna see misery that you're not gonna see per se at the Jewish side, but that is cultural. You know that how many slaves are in Jordan? If you see a sex slave in the West Bank or in Jordan, can you blame Israel for this? Because this is what they're doing. But Israel has no, and the reason they refuse to show you Jordan, where there is a lot of slavery, real slavery. I'm not joking, real slavery. They bring people from Africa and trap them. You want to do that? But I'm gonna tell you, there is a really good reason why people don't show you the truth. You're gonna die. Don't do it. But you know what? Unfortunately, you know what? Do it. But unfortunately, you're not gonna be back to tell us what happened. That's the truth. So I understand you want to believe me. So you can choose not to believe me. And for years now, Europe chose not to believe Israel. To this day, you don't want to believe. But you are seeing that in your streets. At some point, they're gonna cut off your heads in a mess. And then it's gonna be too late. And it doesn't matter how much we warned you. It doesn't matter how much we said. It doesn't matter how much we cried. It doesn't matter how much we reflected. It doesn't matter. JPM CFT 3194. How does it make sense to lump East Asians and Arabs together under the single label Asia? The nation state model works for us, not for the Arabs. East Asians? I mean, okay, so here's another. You see how delusional Britain is? You see how how schizophrenic, mentally ill Britain is? To do that, to lump East Asians and Arabs together, and not only and also South Asians and whatever. Those are Asia is way bigger than Europe. Those are huge distances as well geographically. So I think we need to just accept the fact that the Brits are not smart people. I realized with time that they're good people, they're kind-hearted, but they are but actually if we really think about it, they're called Britain because the people from Brittany became the elite in Britain. So you have the vast majority of people, and then it's it's just I'm just starting to think maybe the Brits are they look. I mean, it's like you're right. That's the thing. At some point, it's maybe they're just retarded. Maybe just at some point you need to accept people as they are, and you can see the Brits are just the British people. They're just the locals. They are just very stupid. And the reason that it makes sense to them to lump East Asians and Arabs is because the globus contains too much details for them to contain at one time, so they can only see one country at a time, and they cannot have enough data points in their brain to keep the distances as well. So it's I understand, like, it's like at some point you just need to understand when somebody's like struggling. They are struggling. So that's very sad. I mean, like there is just there is just a limit to how much you can do for others. Like I cannot give you a brain if you have none. I cannot give you the ability to capture like more than like to see like the map and like because you need to understand for them for them like it's like Europe, right? So I saw like Love Island or something, and then there was this conversation of them trying to understand if England is a city in Europe or something like this. It's like how it like when you take that and you just understand that this is just how they are, and you're like, and you think it's racism and you think it's a lot of things, but at some point you just have to accept the fact that maybe they're just truly retarded, and it's okay to be retarded as well, right? It's like it just it's a bit sad, but just because you're stupid doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I just want to say, like, we just need to be more creative to understand how to help those miserable stupid creatures. I'm sure, like, the thing is that there are so many miserable stupid creatures all over the place. Until we reach the Brits, it's gonna be so much. I mean, like at some point, right? And by the way, it's not just that they're stupid. It's just that they are genetically evolved in an island. And island culture means that you can spiral. Like island culture is very different from cultures that have friction with other cultures. So when you live in an island surrounded by sea, um, you start imagining that across the sea there is a Hogwarts and magicians and everybody. Like it's like because you live in an island, and so and by the and once like and the funny thing about Britain and England in general is like if anyone crosses the sea, that's it. Like they take over. Like every single time somebody crossed the sea, they took over the island, right? Because it's like okay, if they manage to cross the water, and that's theirs. It's all you have to do. And so like this is like and then it's like they just like accept it's like oh new lords like every time it's like I said it before, right? So there's like the Rome new, like it doesn't matter, fine, whatever, yeah, whatever, who cares, you know so it's like it's just it's they're island people, they do fishing and they just live day to day, and it's like they're surrounded by sea, and from time to time they get new like elites that control them. This is why they have such a strong class system in Britain. So teams, thank you so much, Team Shoulder. Thank you, bless you, pretty and smart. Thank you so much for your support. So like at some point it's like, you know what, like it's not out, like you have to understand it's not out of spite. It's just that you want to help someone. At some point you know I don't have the tools. Like I want to help, right? But at some point somebody needs to be able to translate to the chill fishing island people who just have different people be the elite every couple of centuries. Understand that like it's not going to be like the previous times this time. Whereas the Brits don't know they have political agency. Yeah, they really don't. Ah, right. Not entirely accurate. They fought back successfully against the Danes after the first success. So, because the Danes became part of the population, so the Danes fought against the Danes. I think that you need to be more accurate as well. It's like the Danes came and they were like, no, this is like, wait, it's enough Danes here. Like, we got the point. Like we need like we starting to get like a very like not enough space for the elite here, so the Danes fought the Danes. That's what you mean. Did I understand you correctly? It's like if they had to succeed first, so this was it the Danes fighting the Danes, or was it like you know like if you think about British culture, it all makes sense. Like no, this is why, like, oh yeah, Europe, like Asia, fish, I don't know, sheep. Simple. Oh, thank you, Shauna. Thank you for buying 5 books. Yay. Thank you for supporting Buy Me Coffee. Okay, let me go read the message there real quick. Oh, you just wrote hello, beautiful. Well, hello, beautiful. It's nice seeing you. I love it, but no, they actually took territory back from the Danes. So the Danes took territory back from the Danes. Because linguistically, because I'm a nerd, I know that a lot of English was influenced by Danish, that you had a language shift. You don't get a language shift if there wasn't a mix up with the Danes. So I'm just saying, like, it's a theory, needs to be checked. But it's but I let you do I'm gonna say something very outrageous. Let me tell you that my made up theories about Britain are way more in depth on the ground journalism than this the people who come here and report about the Middle East without knowing anything, not even if somebody who speaks to them is Jewish or Muslim or Arab or and besides, like, they can't even tell between the different accents of whatever. So, oh, kisses. Okay, I think we had too much fun. So I'm telling you that my imagination of British history that makes sense to me in my hand is just is that it's probably be way better, less way detached, way less detached from reality from people who report from here. Especially if they actually did their job, they'd be dead. There you go. Shana, your fact dropping is on point. Okay, you guys, it's time to go to sleep. I have other things I'm work. I'm work. I'm continue. I continued working on my presentation. I'm gonna show more parts of it later on. Like the next part of the presentation is about how you lie by telling only truthful facts. And it's funny because I chose Britain as the example. So I hope you're excited. I mean, it's very nice to make fun of British people. First of all, they don't lose their minds like Americans. Americans, if you make fun of Americans, they have very, 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 very thin skin. Very. You can't even tell them that they're fat, even if they say that they're fat, and they're fat. It's like true. No, no, no. Like no, they go crazy. So Americans have very, 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 very thin skin. The Brits though, like they're fun. They have. I was like, it's more fun. All right, you guys. Okay, time to sleep. Time to sleep. Good night.